Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're getting into a really compelling story. It's all about hustle, adaptation. Quite the journey. We're pulling from Nug Notes in this piece, Deep in the Bag, a cannabis journey. The goal here, to really unpack how a brand born on the streets keeps, reinventing itself. So let's kick it off at the beginning. They were SF-built, bag-fed, right? Active in the Bay since about 2009. And the source really paints this picture of the initial grind. We're talking 20-hour drives, gas cans rattling in the trunk, zips in rotations, how they put it, just constant movement. That name, Deep in the Bag, it really came from that, didn't it? Just always being on the move, always managing the supply.
Absolutely. And what's really important is how that early hustle built their authenticity. The source makes the point, like early packs hit different. Back then, quality was everything, forget fancy marketing. It was strains like Bossio 41, Zookies, stuff linked to Mount Burnin farms, family connections. That's what mattered.
Right, that's what got people talking.
Yeah, exactly. Those drops put them on the radar. And the source says, real smokers already knew. It wasn't hype. It was organic, built purely on the product itself. That's a pretty solid foundation for any brand, really. Authentic value.
For sure. And it clearly worked. By 2018, things were scaling up. The source mentions them growing heavy in the hills.
Yeah,
with the Haupia strain down in Santa Cruz, building a real fan base. It sounds like things were going pretty smoothly then, but then, boom, a major setback hits. What happened there? Late 2021.
Yeah, it was a huge shift. Basically, new laws came into play, changed the whole game. Suddenly you had raids, landlords getting spooked, and the end result, they got kicked off the farm, just like that.
Wow.
Yeah, it shows you how volatile that industry can be, especially with regulations changing so fast. It really put them in a tight spot.
Man, losing your grow operation, that's tough for a brand built on cultivation. So what do you do then? Their next move was, honestly, pretty clever. They couldn't grow, so they doubled down on what they could control, which was what they'd already been crafting, the bag itself, like the actual packaging and branding, made it louder, sharper. They tried some rec drops in 2021 too, right? But ran into issues.
That's right. Hit snags almost immediately.
Yeah.
The source points to distro issues, basically. Problems getting the product onto legal shelves. Logistics.
Okay, so the legal market entry wasn't smooth sailing at first.
Not at all. But interestingly, that setback kind of pushed them in a new direction. Towards expansion, they made a trip out to New York, late 2021, started building solid connections out there.
The coast-to-coast pressure idea.
Exactly. It was a strategic pivot. And by 2024, when New York really popped off, recreationally, they were already positioned. They made the full move.
So New York is home base now.
Seems like it.
And it sounds like they're firing on all cylinders, drop after drop. Consistency is the key word. Grown to, 8 brands deep, all under one umbrella. That's significant.
It is. And operating with real motion, no middlemen, it suggests a very tight, controlled operation now, from source to sale.
Impressive growth. But are they still connected to those early days?
That's the interesting part. They seem very focused on keeping that link to the roots. Remember Farmer's Choice 831, an early collaborator?
Yeah, you mentioned them.
Well, after that 2021 raid forced Farmer's Choice out of state, they're now apparently building something legal together up in Mendocino, back in California, but legitimate.
Full circle, almost.
Kind of. And now, with their own cultivation and consumption license in NY secured, they've managed to bridge the gap. They've got the legal rec side humming, but they haven't lost touch with the trap side, the legacy market origins. It keeps the culture side feeling authentic, aligned.
Okay, so that's the whirlwind story of Deep in the Bag. It really is a journey of, like you said, relentless adaptation. San Francisco streets to a multi-state legal op. The source sums it up nicely. The pack got deeper. The vision got louder. And quick heads up, sounds like their next move is the candy truck loading now with High Monkey NYC. Something to watch out for.
So yeah, breathe deep. It ain't over. I think what this story really leaves you with is, well, it's about resilience, isn't it? Persistence, having to reinvent yourself when things get tough. So maybe the question for you listening is, what does being deep in the bag really mean today? In this constantly shifting world, something to think about.